Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's I'm going to be comparing the GMC Sierra AT4X to the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Provo GMC for giving me some time with the AT4X. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Now the AT4X has two engine options available, a 3-liter diesel or a 6.2-liter V8. This one has the V8, goes through a 10-speed, it puts out 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque, and then fuel economy with this is going to be mid-teens for average. Powering the Tundra is a twin-turbo 3.4-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Compared to a hybrid system, it puts out 437 horsepower and then 583 pound-feet of torque. Average fuel economy is going to be higher teens with this, and this is the only powertrain available. Now, before we move forward with this comparison, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the AT4X, it is massive, especially when you see it next to the Tundra. The Tundra looks so much lower compared to the AT4X here. We can see the grille is darker with the coloration. You've got this bumper from AEV, which is standard on the AT4X now. Fog lights built in, recovery points, all of that. So it has a really cool off-roader appearance with the front end. Now the Tundra, I think, still looks good. Now obviously we've got the massive grille here, which some people aren't a big fan of. I don't think it's the worst thing. You got marker lights on the Tundra, which I think looks cool. But yeah, I mean, seeing them next to each other, you can see how much taller the Sierra is. It's kind of crazy. Now with the Sierra, our tire wheel setup is 275, 70, 18 in the front and over in the rear, whereas the Tundra, it is 285, 65, 18 in the front and over in the rear. So the Tundra has slightly shorter tires, but slightly wider compared to the AT4X. And so this is probably part of the height difference with the trucks is because of the slightly taller tires in the AT4X. You guys can see the stance. Now the AT4X also does have a lift compared to a regular Sierra, which also does kind of bump it up a little bit. And then the other thing with the AT4X is it does have leaf springs, and then we got multi-matic shocks. Now with the Tundra TRD Pro, it's got a nice level stance front to rear, but you can tell the tires are just a little bit shorter compared to that AT4X with both the stock trucks. And then with the Tundra, you actually have Fox shocks with the TRD Pros, and then you have a multi-link setup in the back. And then taking a look at the key fobs, functionality is identical. You've got your tailgate drop-down lock and unlock. The Tundra has a remote start, it's just built into the lock function. Now when it comes to the bed of the Tundra, this one has the composite bed. We've got LED lights here in the bed. We also have an outlet as well. So definitely a nice setup, plenty of storage space. And then with the tailgate, that's light. You can also drop the tailgate down with that button. And then with the Sierra, it's got traditional bed liner, basically. You've got LED lights, you have an outlet. So very similar functionality with both the beds. This one does have the multi-pro, which basically just folds down into a step. And then lifting this up, it's not too much heavier. And then finishing things up with the rear style, you can see TRD Pro in big print there, and you got the TRD exhaust. With the Sierra, you've got the exhaust tips that are actually kind of hidden underneath. It's supposed to help out with departure angle, which I think is smart. I mean, you can see the departure angle on this off-road would be significantly better than the Tundra with those exhaust tips sticking out so far. And just look at the difference in the bumper height with the Tundra versus with the Sierra. It's very interesting to see both of them next to each other. The Tundra almost looks like a lowered truck next to the Sierra. Now when it comes to space in the Tundra, it's solid. We also have this cool trim here on the door panel with the stitching and all of that. And then I like the mats here in the back. And you can see the cup holders, and then you got USB ports and everything down there. Got a car seat in the way a little bit, but got like the camel print on the seats with the red stitching and everything. Pretty cool look. And then headroom back here. Now in the back of the Sierra, space is actually very similar, but much more upscale with the kind of design and the material use here. Got heated seats here in the back, and then look at the seats too. Again, just more upscale with the appearance here in the back. And then headroom, it's pretty similar. And let's start up the Tundra here. Ooh. We got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then you can see you got that same like red stitching and everything. And let's quickly look at payload on this truck. So it is 1,345 pounds. The payload. Got that button for the TRD light bar. I think that's pretty cool. But my favorite thing about the TRD Pro interior is just the steering wheel. I like how it's perforated all around, kind of like an Audi RS car, and you got the marker there at the top. It's kind of cool. Got stuff like adaptive cruise control. You can see full digital gauge cluster here. And then we've got a 360 camera system, really good resolution with it. Big infotainment system, just, you know, pretty good response time, easy to use. Dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats, and then you got this like a camera system. Rear locking differential with this, and then look at that shifter, pretty cool. Now, traditional 2-speed transfer case. We do have multi-terrain select and crawl control as well with that 2-speed transfer case. And then you guys can see here with the wireless phone charging pad, and then you got the whole center console setup, which is cool. And then I like that. Also Toyota across, and then normal glove box there. Got a camera rear view mirror, and then we got a big panoramic sunroof, and then the whole window, or sorry, wrong button. The whole window in the back goes up and down. And start up the Sierra here. So again, more upscale with the material use and the design. To the AT4X right there. Let's see what the payload is on this truck though. So 1,195 pounds on this particular truck. And then you can see with the steering wheel again, really nice soft touch trim. Got this big digital gauge cluster just like the Tundra. You got a heads-up display with this one as well. And then we got 360 camera system, really good resolution. Again, very similar to what you have in the Tundra. And then infotainment system, quick response time, just as easy to use, so nothing crazy there. Dual zone climate, heated and ventilated seats. But these seats here are also massaging as well, which is fun. Now when it comes to off-road tech, this is better in my opinion. So we have a front locking differential as well as rear. And then if you look at the drive line, we've got an advanced four-wheel drive system, so 4-wheel auto, as well as a 2-speed transfer case. So a little bit more tech there. No multi-terrain select or anything like that, but I mean, you do have an off-road mode. And then you can see there with the trailer brake controls, wireless phone charging pad. And then look at the kind of design here. Again, more luxury. Still have a camera rear view mirror. And then just a traditional sunroof, and then traditional power sliding rear window. And then you do have a premium headliner, so just nicer materials. Now, when it comes to pricing, that Tundra stickers for about $74K, the AT4X stickers for about $84K. Let's drive them. Well, let us set off in the AT4X first, and then we'll set off in the Tundra second. Funny enough, I literally just had one of these as a demo for the week. It was the AEV edition though, so it had the upgraded rear bumper as well. But yeah, it's just, and the extra skid plates that come with the AEV edition. But it's just funny that, like, literally just was driving this truck for last week. But the other thing is, the one that I was driving was the diesel, whereas this is the 6.2 V8. So a little bit of a different beast altogether. But setting off, gotta love the sound from that 6.2 V8. It's clean, smooth ride. Now I saw some people commented, I took the AT4X off-road, and I saw some people commented that it's was, you know, not going to be as comfortable as a Tundra because it doesn't have coil suspension. They've done a good job with the damping with these shocks, and then also the leaf springs, they're not bad. You do get a little bit of back end play because of the leaf springs. That's just always going to be a leaf spring thing, but it's, for what it is, it's solid. Now this has a very substantial feel to it. That's kind of just the GM truck feel, kind of like a heavier, bulkier feel, like you're driving a bigger vehicle overall, even though it's not necessarily, you know, it's not necessarily like longer or wider or anything like that. These seats are nice. The thing that's interesting is, I mean, we'll compare it on the Tundra seats. They got the massage function, so they're supposed to be more luxurious. But I did do a comparison with that AT4X versus the ZR2, and the ZR2 actually had more comfortable seats than these, so it'd be interesting to see if the Tundra has more comfortable seats. That's nice. Yeah, the V8's great. I still prefer the diesel. That's still my preferred powertrain with General Motors. It's such a unique powertrain in today's market here in the US. But yeah, I mean, this drives really well. It's got comfortable suspension, pretty comfortable seats, got massaging seats. It's got it all. And it's also, again, I took this off-road, insanely capable off-road. So let's go drive the Tundra. Okay, so setting off in the Tundra back to back with the AT4X. These seats are a little bit more comfortable. The bolstering's kind of wider on them. Again, similar to the Silverado ZR2. Very interesting with that. Way different driving experience, I mean, right off the bat. So with that naturally aspirated V8, It's responsive, but it does not have the torque that this has. This has a ton of low-end torque, and you really feel it. This engine, I would say, is the closest engine on the market to like a diesel in terms of how it feels. Doesn't feel like a diesel, right? But just the torque that you get out of this, it's really, really good. And the truck's smooth. I wouldn't necessarily say it's more comfortable suspension-wise. It does feel more planted. Feels like lighter weight too. So there is a little bit of a difference with that. Yeah, damping on them's both, I mean, they both have good shocks. So I'd say damping's solid with both trucks. It's funny how it always turns on the camera there. Obviously this interior doesn't feel nearly as premium as the AT4X interior. And build quality on the new Tundras, it seemed like it's improved a little bit from the first vehicles, like the 22s that I saw, but it's still not as good as what you have over there with the GMC. The fit and finish is really tight on that. Yeah, just a completely different driving experience with the powertrain. This really does, it's again not quite a diesel, but it feels so close to it. So here's what I'd say, as weird as this is going to be to people. This almost feels like a better daily driver car in some respects. Now, it does not have 4-wheel auto, which I think is a huge downside, because, you know, when it rains or when there's light snow, that's such a nice thing to have, not having to switch into full-on 4-wheel high. But yeah, the seats are a little bit more comfortable, and then just the torque this provides. But again, if that GMC has the diesel, it'd be a very similar situation. And then when it comes to off-roading, I would say the GMC wins, right? It's got, even though this has multi-terrain select and has crawl control and everything, the GMC has more ground clearance. It has better angles. You can see that when you look at them next to each other. And so it just, from the factory, it's got more off-road chops than the Toyota. And especially if you get that, if you switch to the AEV edition, you got more skid plates, you got more bumper, and so then it's even more capable off-road. So yeah, if you're gonna, I guess, you know, most people don't even take these off-road, but if you were, the GMC would be the better route to go. So let me know which one you like more.